It is not enough to drive a motorcycle off of the side of a cliff. It's not enough to hang from the side of a massive cargo plane while it takes off from an airstrip. And it's not enough to scale the tallest building in the world with nothing but magnetic gloves. This man, at 63 years old, hung from the side of a plane with nothing but a strap to hold onto while having a fist fight with the enemy to save the world from total annihilation. What? Welcome back to my channel at The Movie Optimist, where I try and find the silver linings in even the worst of films. Tonight, I just got done watching the newest film, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. This movie takes place pretty much right after the events of Dead Reckoning Part 1, which they removed the Part 1 and now just call Dead Reckoning. In this film, the AI known as the Entity has advanced and evolved from the events of Dead Reckoning and has come to the conclusion that no matter what it does, humankind is always going to try and control it for selfish reasons. So it uses its AI to warp the news and warp politics and force nations like Russia and London and Paris and the United States and the United Kingdom to all think that they're about to launch a nuclear war on each other, forcing each nation to want to be reactionary and launch their missiles first before anyone else can, trying to preserve their own homeland. If the AI succeeds, everyone will launch their nukes pretty much at the same time and create global annihilation, wiping out all of humanity, and it's up to Ethan Hunt and his team to race against time and get ahead of the AI and stop it before it could convince the world to do this. Guys, I really can't string together a series of words that would describe just how breathtaking the final hour of this film is. And I've seen a lot of people complaining after Dead Reckoning Part 1 about the villain being AI. And although sure, it could come off as kind of corny in the wrong movie, it just feels right here because Mission Impossible has always kind of been about protecting the world from real world threats that could be a possibility. And we do live in a day and age where AI is very real. It is happening in our world. It's most notably affecting the movie industry, where visual effects artists are being replaced with AI, voice actors are being replaced with AI. It was just found out that Fortnite used AI to voice Darth Vader in the Fortnite world. AI is being used to replace CDL drivers, and we're getting AI-driven trucks now. It's a very real thing, and I mean, we've all seen The Terminator. We know where this goes if we let it get too much control, and it kind of just seems like Christopher McQuarrie is showing us our bleak future. So, although some people don't like it, I thought that actually the AI was very effective because, again, it is a problem that we have now, and it just makes the stakes so high. Regardless of what the villain is, the fact that it's convincing the world to unleash nuclear annihilation on itself is really freaky because it's something that could actually happen. So from start to finish, I was truly on the edge of my seat trying to figure out how Ethan Hunt was going to best this AI, because this AI is essentially the Doctor Strange of the Mission Impossible world, where it could predict every possible scenario that could ever happen, and Ethan Hunt needs to figure out how to outsmart it when it's literally thinking of every way that Ethan could outsmart it. I won't go into spoilers as into how he does it, but I found it incredibly riveting. Now, this movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes long, and if you've heard that the first hour of this movie drags, that's all going to depend on your investment in this saga, and it's also going to depend on your investment in exposition and how well it's handled. Now, there are a million and one ways that an action movie could delve into exposition for an hour where it would be effortlessly boring, but Christopher McQuarrie did something here where he understood that it was going to take a long time to really lay the groundwork of the plan. It was going to take this hour to set up how Ethan Hunt was going to go on this epic adventure where you're going to get all the breathtaking stunts in the latter half of this film. And what he does to make it entertaining is he finds ways to make everything that's come before this movie relevant. All the way back from Mission Impossible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now this one. Every mission he's ever been on has led to this AI, and he finds a way to interweave everything he's ever done and make it important. People he met on the first Mission Impossible movie, devices that he stole in the second Mission Impossible movie, things that he's done in the third. It all ties together, and a lot of it's done through flashbacks. A lot of it is done through exposition and people talking about it, yes. But I've grown up watching this franchise, and for those of you who now know me, a lot of you do from my Superman trailer reaction, you know that I'm a very emotional person when it comes to movies. I grew up watching watching these films with my grandmother. These films, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, James Bond movies, these are all films that I've essentially been watching since I was an infant. And although I know they're all fake movie characters, it's still people that I just look up to, and they've all been in my life since I was a kid. James Bond is still going. Sure, it's always other actors, but the character is still here. I still have Star Wars. So watching Christopher McQuarrie pay homage to every other Mission Impossible before this, leading up to this one, and then double down on that notion with this being the final Mission Impossible. This is the last adventure I'm gonna go on with Ethan Hunt. It's the last time I'm gonna get to see him save the world. I was truly emotional, and that hour of exposition, I was completely locked in because I was excited to see how every mission played into the next mission, which eventually led to the formation of this artificial intelligence. So I never found this movie boring, and maybe there are some people that do love the franchise and they still find it boring. It really is all going to depend on your taste. I don't mind an hour of intricate spy conversations in rooms with each other. Like, I don't need that action as long as the payoff is there, and the payoff is 110% there. Now, there's a couple different stunts in this film. There's one involving a chase scene through a bunch of catacombs. There's one involving a submarine. These are all things you've seen in the trailer, so they're not spoilers, but the standout is the biplane scene that you've seen in the trailer where he's literally hanging off the side of it from a rope. That's where the final showdown is between him and the final boss. He literally has a fist fight on the side of a plane, upside down, hanging from a rope, for real, with no CGI. Like, the fact that this man's 63 years old and still giving us practical stunts like that is insane. And again, it absolutely took my breath away. The fact that this is the final Mission Impossible, there are also casualties that come with this film where they're leaving everything on the table. They know that they're probably not going to come back to do this. So there are people in this film that don't make it, and it all just added to the overall emotional state that I was in, knowing that it was the final Mission Impossible. Seeing these people that I've watched for the last 10, 15 years that I love slowly get taken out. It was just such a great send-off for these characters, in my opinion. And yes, I did shed a tear by the end of it, and deservingly so. They've earned it over me supporting them and being loyal to this franchise and watching since I was just a child. And if you're a die-hard Mission Impossible fan, sure, you might be a little bored in the beginning of this film if you're not as invested as I am and don't have that much sentimental value in it the way that I do. But if nothing else, the last hour of this film is gonna blow your mind. That's how incredible the final few stunts are and the action is in the end of this film. Now, I will say this. When I say action, I do mean stunts. They pulled back a lot on the violent action of it. You don't really have Ethan Hunt beating up a bunch of bad guys in this one. Hell, he doesn't even shoot anyone in this one. There's a very low body count in terms of bad guys. I'm used to him, usually getting in a couple gunfights, shooting a couple people, knocking out a couple dudes. He gets in like 2 or 3 fight scenes in this film that all last like a couple minutes long, but really he's getting his ass kicked in it, and it seems like they really wanted to play into the fact that he is getting older and he can't really be going toe-to-toe with young guys in their prime anymore. So they saved the great confrontation for him at the very end of this film, and I was a little upset I didn't get to see the final mission of Ethan Hunt with him taking out a bunch of bad guys the way that I'm used to, but that's okay because they went above and beyond and absolutely delivered on that final stunt. I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. I thought that it's definitely the second best out of the 4 that Christopher McQuarrie has done, which is Rogue Nation, Fallout, Dead Reckoning Part 1, and now this. I think the best is Fallout, followed by this, followed by Rogue Nation, followed by Dead Reckoning Part 1, and I really couldn't be happier with the way that this saga wrapped up. Everything was earned, it's sent off with a proper bow, and although I am increasingly depressed I'm never going to see this team again, they earned this farewell, they earned this goodbye, they stuck the landing on this franchise, and I couldn't be happier. Anyway guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you a Mission Impossible fan? Are you excited to see this film? I hope I gave you a reason to run out to the theaters to see it this weekend. I really want this movie to do well because the attention to detail and the efforts that goes into making these movies as practical and as thrilling as they are because the filmmakers Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise love providing the audience with the most purest form of entertainment without a green screen, without visual effects. They want to blow your mind with just how effortlessly beautiful the practical cinematography is, and I really hope you do go to the movies this weekend and give it a chance. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Just get ready to take 1 or 2 bathroom breaks. Anyway guys, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and as always, thanks for watching my channel, and I'll catch you next time.